On today's show,
See, what I do when I was calling the roll, I referred them as doctor.
yeah,
Doctor this and that.
hmm
And then maybe I said, well, Dr. Smith. They said, Miss Presley, don't call me Dr. Smith. Call me cardiologist Smith.
oh,
They were, and when I called her, I said, cardiologist Smith. Okay. And I may call them, I said, Superintendent Taylor, they gave me the name to call them. And I called them that. And whatever you are called, that becomes a part of you. And I've had students who said, one told me about 2 years ago, she said, I told you I was nurse this. She said, guess what, Miss President? I'm in college now, and I'm going to be a nurse. I said, well, I told you can be anything that you want to be. I said, you're truly someone special. You're a mastermind. What you tell those children, they have an impact on them. Don't say the negative things to them. I always say, dream big dreams. The sky is your limit. You can do anything. You can be anything that you want to be.
welcome to Education Today. I'm your host, Solanke. I spent 15 years in the secondary classroom teaching English, reading, and social studies. I've also been on the other side as a parent of 3 children who have completed the formal schooling years of kindergarten through 12th grade and are now in the college and career stage. Now I'm here to have conversations with teachers, administrators, school staff, students, and parents about all things education. Join me as I cover current topics in education from preschool through to college, career, and beyond. Okay, how are you doing today?
I'm excellent and getting better. How are you, wonderful one?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay.
Welcome to this episode of Education Today. My guest today is Mrs. Bernice Presley. Mrs. Presley is a lifelong educator, and I invited her on the show today to give us some words of wisdom about education. Welcome to the show, Mrs. Presley.
Thank you so much. And this is indeed an honor because what I'm thinking is out of all the ladies in the world, you chose me. And I feel so honored. Thank you for choosing me to be the dignitary on today's program.
It is
Thank you.
definitely my privilege to have you on the show. Thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm excellent and getting better. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
All right. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about yourself. Actually, Mrs. Presley is the mother of a good friend of mine and a fellow educator, which tells me that her children have followed in her footsteps in education. So that says a lot. How many years have you been in education?
Oh, I've been in education all my life. I think I was born to be an educator
Yeah.
because as far back as I can remember, I was always in the position I'm in now.
hmm
I always want to give and help others
Yeah.
to advance to their greatest. So I can say to answer that question, I've been in education all of my life, and I've enjoyed every moment of it.
Oh. Do you believe it's a calling?
Yes, I do. I do. I
hmm
do. I certainly do. I believe it's a calling. And you know what? I answered the call. And I'm so glad that I answered. I'm so
Oh.
glad I did not ignore it
Yeah.
because I have been super blessed. And when I see my dignitaries who are out doing great, I said, thank you, Lord, because it was the Lord. The
Yeah.
Lord gave that gift to me. And I thank you, Lord. I
Yeah.
do thank you.
That's a-
Yes. And I've been obedient.
Yeah, that's amazing. I can't even imagine how many lives you've touched, you know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's the Lord. See what I do? I get up in the morning and the Lord plans my day.
hmm
And I follow his plan.
Yeah.
So I really don't know how many lives I've touched, but it's God's gift to me, and I appreciate him
Yeah.
for singling me out and say, Bernice, I want you to do this.
Yeah.
And I thank God for that.
Yeah. What an amazing attitude. So what different roles have you held in the field of education over the years?
I've had everything that came my way, and
hmm
my focus was children.
Yeah.
I've tutored children. I have brought them home and fed them.
Oh,
I have counseled with them at school. And anytime you say a child, I was right there. So my roles were unlimited
yeah.
because I know, according to Psalm 127:3, children are a gift from God. They're his
hmm
reward.
Yeah.
And have really, I've been advocate for that, and my roles were unlimited.
Yeah.
Anytime they call on me, I try to accommodate them. So I don't have any single. I have many, many roles because I wore many, many hats.
So
Yes.
even though you're officially retired now, I believe you're still doing some work with students, right?
No, I'm not retired.
Oh, wow.
I'm not. No, I'm not retired. The only time that I retire is when the Lord calls me home.
Amen.
No, I'm not retired.
Yeah.
You mean retired from the classroom?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am out of the classroom, out of my number one assignment, the classroom. I taught math and science.
Oh.
But I am not retired. I continue to work with children. I have 4 tutorial programs.
Oh, wow.
After school tutorial programs. I work with children. And anytime they say a child, I run because I want to help that child.
Yeah.
Because in order for me to be where I am now, someone had to sacrifice. Someone had to say, well, I'm going to help her. And I'm giving back because I feel as if it's God's gift. That's what God wants me to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel comfortable doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing. You mentioned that math and science were your fields. We spoke off air yesterday, and you mentioned a brain bowl. Can you tell me your experience with brain bowl competitions in Florida?
Yes. What I tried to do was I like for students to advance their education.
Yeah.
So I heard about this program in the state of Florida, which was in the National Achiever Society. And the National Achiever Society was a program that came here. I don't remember the year. But anyway, there were a couple, and they were a white couple, and I don't mean to refer to white and black, but I have to say white because they were a white couple.
Yeah.
They and I think it was from Maryland or somewhere. It's Claude McKnight. I think Claude McKnight and his wife Maud McKnight. I know I have the first names right, but the last name. They decided to give a large sum of money to Florida, and that money was supposed to be used for the advancement and education of Black students.
Oh, wow.
So they gave that money to the state of Florida. And in the state of Florida, it became the National Achievers Society. And at that time, the director of it was from Tampa, Florida. His name was Ike Tribble. And Ike Tribble got together and he designed a program. And he divided Florida into, well, it was 5 different centers. And after that, those 5 different centers were so progressive and did so much. He decided to advance it to 10 different centers in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
So the state of Florida was divided into 10 centers. He had a center director. And what the center director did, they designed programs that would help anything that would help the advancement of education of Black students.
Yeah.
And mainly was to teach us our history because our history is so important.
Yeah.
Because if you know your history, then you know that you are someone special.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people don't want you to know your history because if you don't know your history, they can control you. So they were supposed to teach us our history. And then from that, they designed what was called a brain bowl competition.
Yeah.
And then each center was supposed to have a brain bowl competition within that center. And the competition would advance the winning team to the state competition, which we held in Tampa. It was just like a basketball tournament.
Yeah.
But it's a brain bowl tournament. The students were required to be the best as far as reading college level books. We had college level books that we had to read. And then also there was some Black history facts that we had to memorize. Everything was about our heritage because Black history is so important because Black history is the history of America. Without Black history, there's no history.
Yeah.
So these students would go and they would compete, and the winning team out of those 10 centers, the winning team would get scholarships for each of the 7 participants.
Oh, wow.
So we We won several times there.
Oh,
So we got 7 scholarships.
mm-hmm.
And the young lady that you mentioned, Debbie, she was on my first winning team.
Yeah.
So she got a scholarship. She got a scholarship to the University of Florida.
Yeah.
But now she also got another scholarship at FAMU. So she chose the one at FAMU. So that's what happened. And I was part of that.
Yeah.
And now that's still going on, but I don't know whether or not it will advance because of some things that I've heard recently, but I'm not going to mention that
Mm-hmm.
about, not teaching our
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
Yes, but I won't mention that.
Yeah. Well, I'll mention.
Did I-
mention it. For a lot of us who are Black, we believe that Black History Month is 12 months of the year, but at the same time, there is value in having this month and a targeted time to teach Black history. There is some pushback to it in the country. Why do you think it is still important for us to teach Black history, not just to our students, but to all students?
Black history, as I said, is the history of America.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to know about Black history.
Yeah.
Because even on the talking on the cell phone, it's some blackness in there. Somebody contributed.
Yeah.
Your light bulb, somebody contributed. Traffic light, somebody contributed. We need to know people who are contribute these things. Washing machine. I don't care what you can think of, cotton gin.
Mm-hmm.
You can think of many things. People need to know if you can know your history, you can appreciate life.
Yeah.
You say, well, if they did it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And see, that lets you be proud. And it's not only Black children.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should learn about it. Everybody should learn about it.
It's true.
Somebody the young man laid out Washington. You have a lot of people who've written books, textbooks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, they need to know their history. Because if you don't know your history, then you say, well, I'm nobody. I'm a nobody.
Yeah.
Yes, you're truly someone special if you know things that have come before you and people who sacrifice their time, sacrifice in order to make things better for you. Because it's just like a motivational factor. If you know somebody has given their life to make it better for you, then you're going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the same thing because I want the world to progress, not to regress.
Yeah.
So Black history is so important. Anybody who's trying to destroy that knowledge, I put a question mark over their head. Something wrong with you in the head.
Yeah.
Because they need to know. And right then, while they're trying to destroy it, they're using a fountain pen that somebody invented. They're using a fountain pen to do that. They're using something to do that.
Yeah.
They're using a chair, something. They're using a recliner chair. They're using a bed that some Blackness was in it. And then they want to destroy this. They're being selfish because they know it. They don't want anybody else to know it. That's selfish.
Yeah.
Very selfish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I love your response to the knowing Black history, because it's part of American history. It's a sense of pride. It's inspiring and it's a motivating factor. Yeah. I like that. To motivate others to, to want to excel also. A few years back, my son, when he was a senior in college, you interviewed him for one of your radio shows, and you during the show you referred to him using a term that you've used twice already in this show, and you used the word dignitary. You referred to him as an outstanding dignitary, and I just love that. And your daughter told me that when you were in the classroom, you would ask students, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And if they said engineer, then you would refer to them as an engineer. How important do you believe are labels and titles that we place on children and young people?
I think it's very, very important. That give the students the idea that I am truly someone special. I can do anything. I can be anything.
Yeah.
See what I do? Even when I was calling the roll, I referred them as doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor this and that. That's why I referred to them as doctor. And then someone would say, well, maybe I said, well, Dr. Smith. They said, Miss Presley, don't call me Dr. Smith. Call me cardiologist Smith.
Oh.
They would tell, and when I called her, I said, cardiologist Smith. Okay. And I may call them, I said, Superintendent Taylor, they gave me the name to call them, and I called them that. Yeah, and whatever you are called, that becomes a part of you. And I've had students who said, one told me about 2 years ago, she said, I told you I was nurse then. She said, guess what, Miss President, I'm in college now, and I'm going to be a nurse. I'm going to be, I said, well, I told you can be anything that you want to be. I said, you're truly someone special. You're a mastermind. What you tell those children, they have an impact on them. Don't say the negative things to them. I always say, dream big dreams. The sky is your limit. I said, now, you can do anything. You can be anything that you want to be. I said, positive now, not negative. Yeah. So what you say to a child is very important. And that's why some of the teachers make that mistake.
Yeah.
You do not give students names that are not positive.
Yeah.
You don't give them negative names, because they remember that. See, teachers might not remember everything that you taught them, but they will always remember how you treated them.
Yeah.
I was not on the campus to win a popularity contest with my teachers, nor with the administrator, because I had clashes with my administrator.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh.
About every administrator I had clashes with, because I had a different style of teaching.
Yeah.
That they cannot understand, because I told them, I said, this is a student-centered environment.
Yeah.
And the first thing I do when I start my class, at the beginning of the year, I always tell my student I said, now, by Thanksgiving, I want you to be smarter than what I am and who I am. Miss Presley, we can't be smart. I said, yes, you can. I said, now wait, you're going to be smarter than I am before Thanksgiving. And some of you going to be smarter before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
I said, because if you're smarter than I am, I have accomplished what I've set out to be. Because I know some teachers say, well, I make the A, you make this, some kind of thing that they say, oh, this is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I said, you're supposed to be smarter than I am. What I am, I'm just a facilitator.
Yeah.
I'm a motivator. I said, I want you to be able to teach me, help me, because you're truly someone special, and I'm going to rely on your expertise. I need you.
Yeah.
I need you. And I said, if I make a mistake, I want you to correct me. And the students would do, I said, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
But now, as I said, I had a lot of conflict with some of the administrators, because my style of teaching was different.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, we supposed to teach according to the students in our class, whatever they need.
Yeah.
Every time they had a convention in my area, I would attend it. So I stayed updated. And see, my principals did not stay updated.
Yeah.
The head of my department did not stay updated. Some of the teachers did not, because what they do, they get their degree and they sit down and they take a class when they need to renew their certificate. But I did not do that. I joined every little organization that dealt with my subject area.
Yeah.
And I went to all of the conventions that I could afford financially, because they never would give me, only time they would give me the time off, but they would not give the money for me to go. But I always had a credit card that I could use. But I would go. I would go, and I would be a member, a live member of all of them, so they can stay in touch with me.
Yeah.
So I had clashes with my principal, because we didn't, I believed something different from the way that they did. But I did obey them up to a point.
Yeah.
I did.
Up to a point.
Yeah, up
I
to
like
a point. I did. I did obey them up to a point. Yes.
I like that. So as you continue to stay updated in the field of education over the years, how did you see the education field changing?
I saw it changing because of the lack of people reading and attending meetings outside of their little district. I saw it changing because of the lack of knowledge. See, if you don't have knowledge, you can't do anything but regress.
Oh, okay.
So I saw it changing. And a lot of times you have the people in charge who don't know A from bullfrog. They're in charge. They're the one who calling the shots.
Yeah.
And that's how education changed. You have somebody and I won't refer to a person who's messing up things now. But anyway, you have people who are in key positions who don't have IQ of jello, but they making major decisions that would affect these little brilliant minds. Yeah. So I've seen it change over a period of time. But now you have some people who are making a positive impact in education.
Yeah.
But a lot of times those are overshadowed by the negativism.
Yeah.
But see, I think that in time, when these young people take over, it's going to be a different. Those are outdated minds. If they're pushed aside, it's going to be a different in education.
Yeah.
So I have seen a change because of lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Like people think they know everything, they've been everywhere, they've seen everything, but they have not. See, education is continuous.
Yeah.
There's always something you can learn.
Yeah.
And that's what I always do. I always try to learn. I learn from my students. I do. And that's why I was so successful, because I did not close the door between my students and myself. I learned from them. They taught me a lot how to do things. Yes.
That's a level of humility that a lot of teachers actually don't have, the ability to tell the students, you're smarter than me, or to tell the students, I make mistakes, let me know when I make mistakes, or I'm going to learn from you. Like I said, I don't see that level of humility in a lot of in some teachers, yes, but not in a lot of teachers, because a lot of teachers, it's like my way or the highway. I'm the boss, I'm in charge, you know?
No. I did not do that.
Yeah.
There were times when students would teach the class.
Yeah.
It was not about Bernice Presley in front of the class yapping off at the mouth. I said, okay, we're going to be talking about matter today. We're going to talk about energy. Who would like to teach a lesson on that? Hands go up.
Yeah.
I said, okay, each of you can teach something. So I said, now you got to prepare the lesson plan, the activities, everything. And I said, if you want a group, we'll get a group. And they would teach the class, and they would also make up little worksheets and give it to the students. And I would be one of the students too. I would be a student. Yes, I'd be a student in the class. I asking questions and everything. The students would be in charge of the class. It was not about Bernice.
Yeah.
Now, my last principal fired me.
Oh boy.
She didn't want me to say she fired me. She could not understand what I was doing.
Yeah.
I like a variety of things in my classroom, you know.
Yeah.
But she thought that I should be in front of the class teaching everybody. But I said, no. See, if we're talking about just in math, if we're talking about fractions, I would have a learning station that show you how to add fraction this way. I would have another learning station that show you how to add fraction that way. I would have different learning stations in my classroom, because I taught the students the way I learned.
Yeah.
Okay, she walked into my classroom one day and she saw all that blew her mind. And she told her, she said, oh, that's overwhelming. That's overwhelming. That students the students, when they finish with one stage, they would move to another. But it was all about the same subject.
Yeah.
But it was approaching it differently. And see, she got on to me about that.
Yeah.
So the next year, one of the teachers who knew she did that called me and she said, Miss Presley, what you were doing at the middle school, we're required to do that now.
Oh, wow.
Provide a variety of activities in the classroom.
Yeah, that is how it is now. It's very interactive now.
That's right. When I started, before that was popular, and she said she didn't know anything about it, because she was administrator now, the principal of the school, and she didn't even know better.
Yeah.
She know better. So those are the kind of things that I had to deal with.
Yeah.
But at the end of the year, she dismissed me. She fired me.
Oh boy.
She fired me. This lady, and it was a lady who looked just like me. Black lady fired me. Black lady fired me. But I went away with a smile, because I continued. I continue to do for children, which I am right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really powerful to have students up there doing the teaching, because they say that teaching is the highest form of learning.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They enjoyed that.
Yeah.
They enjoyed teaching, because I said, got to make out a lesson plan, make activities, and they would go desk to desk and would correct the student. They would come to my desk and I ask them questions, and they would answer and keep going. They love that. Miss President, may I teach the class next week? Yes, you may, honey. This is your class. This not Miss Presley's class.
Yeah.
They enjoyed doing
Yeah.
that. And the scores were higher
Yeah.
because they went home and they prepared, they studied lesson, so they didn't know what kind of question they would be. I would never ask them any question and run them up a tree. I never would do that.
Yeah.
I would just listen and learn. Yeah. When you get those students involved in their teaching, they love that. They
Yeah.
love that because they feel like they're a part of the class.
Mm-hmm.
You have to come in and you got to be in your seat at a certain time. If not, they will say something to you. You should be in your seat. Boy, they get on to each other so hard. And I
Yeah.
just be sitting there. I said, wow, they
Yeah.
are great. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mrs. Presley, over the years, how are you able to inspire unmotivated young people to reach their full potential?
Okay, when I do, I praise them a lot.
Oh.
And I praise, you have to let students know that they can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
They can be anything that they want to be.
Yeah.
They're truly someone special. They're outstanding dignitaries. Push positives in their mind.
Yeah.
You're a superstar. You're a mastermind.
Yeah.
Without you, with you, the world is going to be successful. Keep telling them how wonderful, how important. We need you. We
Mm-hmm.
need new ideas.
Yeah.
Just think, I mentioned a lot of people who've been in things,
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin Banneker and
Oh,
Drew
yeah.
and all thing with the blood plasma. I said, now, those people didn't sit aside. They did something. They are helping others.
Mm-hmm.
I said, whatever you're doing or whatever you learn, you're helping somebody.
Yeah.
And I said, don't you want to help Miss Presley? Yes, ma'am. I said, so do something. Write a book.
Mm-hmm.
Write a book. Occupy your mind in a positive direction.
Yeah.
Occupy your mind. And I praise them. I don't call them ugly names.
Mm-hmm.
I always think of a name to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you push positive into those children, they're going to do a lot of good things. And that's why I want teachers to start doing a little more. Don't be so quick to criticize.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when you're grading a paper, if they make a mistake and maybe misspell a word, don't take off 5 points.
Yeah.
Just say, neighbor say something like, this word was misspelled. It should be spelled this way. Don't crucify a child when they make a mistake as if you are flawless.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't do that. Can't criticize.
Yeah.
And I have students now who say, Miss Presley, I'm Dr. This. They call themselves Dr. This. And a lot of time in class, they would say, Miss Presley, may I go over and talk with Dr. Everhart? I said, yes, go and talk with her. They go, Dr. Everhart, will you they start calling each other that.
Yeah.
Dr. Everhart, will you please do this for me?
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Everhart, I'm glad to do that for you.
Oh.
So those little things like that. So that's how I push positive into them,
Mm-hmm.
no negative.
Yeah.
And then I said, you're a beautiful lady.
No.
I'm not beautiful. Yes, you are. I said, let me clean my glass. I said, let me clean my glasses. Unless I'm looking at somebody different, I take my glass off. I clean them with my little bottom of my dashiki and put. I said, you the same beautiful person that you were before I took my glasses off and clean them. Make them, tell them something like that. Let them just feel happy and comfortable in your class.
Yeah.
If they feel happy, now when they do something wrong, I might take them outside. I say, I may talk to them. I correct them, but correct them with love.
Yeah.
Don't say, you old bucket-headed person, you can't do that. You old retarded person. They said, wonderful. How wonderful it was. I said, thank you. Don't think you should have done a little different, my dear sweetheart.
Yeah.
Something like that. And they'll go back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So I think positive, you'll be more positive with the children.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we have more understanding administrators,
Yeah.
more educated administrators, not all of them now. Anybody who listens, I'm not saying all of you that way,
Mm-hmm.
but you might have just one or two of them that might frustrate teachers like Bernice Presley.
Did you ever work in school administration?
No, I never did. I had no desire to do that. I preferred to be in the classroom with my little darling.
Yeah.
No, if you're an administrator, you sort of removed from the best part of the class. The best part of the class, and it didn't matter which level that I taught.
Yeah.
It did not matter which level, because I said, oh man, they come out. And what I fought against was this labeling of students. of
Mm-hmm.
class, basic, advanced, and all that.
Yeah.
I fought against that.
Yeah.
I said, you don't do things. I said, every child is on the same level. This is advanced class. And I got onto a lot of teachers. I walk into that classroom. This is an advanced schedule. This is a regular schedule. This is a
Mm-hmm.
basic. I said, you see what they're doing to your I said, they're doing something to me. To know that this is that. I said, no, all the children on the same. I said, you might, when you talk to the class, you might say things a little differently,
Yeah.
but don't put it on the wall, advanced. I
Yeah.
forgot what advanced, regular, base. I said, you don't put
Honors,
that on the wall. You
intensive.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
psychological damaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then if you don't put on that, you got a scoop head, you got rabbit ears. Okay, all the rabbit ears ones come over here, all the scoop head. You don't do things like that. That has a
Yeah.
psychological effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? When I'm an English major and I completely sucked at math when I was at school. I wish I had had you as a teacher because you would have hyped me up and I would have thought I was the best math student ever and I would have done well.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I sure would have. Yeah, you would have been a superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
right. No,
Yeah.
no. I don't like this grouping. Grouping.
Yeah.
Here's a high level group, low level. No. If you're gonna group somebody, put the names all in a little barrel and pull them out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you put up a number. This is the group right now. You can separate them if you got somebody that having problems getting along with each other. Now
Yeah.
there are exceptions now
Mm-hmm.
where I make adjustments.
Yeah.
But this grouping all the smart children together, all the medium,
Yeah.
that's psychological damaging.
Yeah. It
And
is.
that's why we have so many things happening in the world because some teachers have done the wrong thing
Mhm.
in the classroom and had an effect on the child. And some parents are like that too now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying all teachers, it's parents too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
So,
right.
as I said, students will always remember how you treated them, but
Mm-hmm.
they might not remember how much you taught them or what you taught them, but they remember how you treated them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're so right about parents when they have a few kids and some excel and some struggle. You're right. That does happen sometimes, that comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I wanted to ask you this question. If you could sit down with a panel of first year teachers as a veteran teacher, what advice would you give to them?
I would tell them, I said, be yourself because nobody else qualifies.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say. Be yourself. And I said, now in college, they're going to give you all these other education courses, how to deal with discipline, how to do with that, and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would tell a first year teacher, first of all, be prayerful about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you cannot rely on what that college professor told you, not a book that you read.
Mm-hmm.
Experience is the best teacher.
Yeah.
Once you start experiencing things, that's where you get your guidance from, experience, because that's the best teacher, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And do not go into teaching if you don't love students.
Yeah.
That's what I would tell them. Now, if you love students, then you're in the right field.
Mm-hmm.
If you not care, particular about how much money you make, you're in the right field.
Yeah.
Because your pay is inferior. That's what I would tell a first year teacher. So again, I would tell them, I said, if you love children, you're in the right profession.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about being rich, you're in the wrong profession because you're not going to be rich.
Yeah.
And then I would tell them, I said, be yourself. Nobody else qualifies.
Yeah.
And then whatever you do, think about it before you speak. Think about it. And always think of these children as somebody who's looking at you and they seeking guidance.
Yeah.
And give them positive guidance.
Mm-hmm.
But be a good listener. You got to listen to the children.
Yeah.
I don't care what they want to talk about. Take them outside. If they want to say, well, my daddy beat up on my mother last night.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to it. And if you think it's something that need to be transferred to the guidance counseling, you do it.
Yeah.
But sometimes students want you to listen to them.
Yeah.
So you got to be more than just a person standing in front of class teaching English, math, science, or whatever. You got to be so many people, but be prayerful about it. Read your Bible and pray every day, and the Lord will lead you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Those are some of the things that I would tell them.
It's amazing. Boy, where were
Yeah.
you when I first started teaching? I could have used that advice 50, 16 years ago.
Oh yeah.
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 Thank you so much. It has been a privilege to have you on today's episode, just to just give us your wisdom and your experience. And I've just appreciated talking to you, and just thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show today.
Well, anytime. I love what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
I'm not selfish. I like to share it, and I
Oh.
hope that what I told you was not disappointing to you. But that's Bernice, and that's Bernice,
Yeah.
and nobody. I'm Bernice, and nobody else qualified to be Bernice.
Oh.
And what I've said, I truly believe in it. It's
Hmm.
not anything that I'm reading, but it's experience. And I think I said several times, experience is the best teacher. I have had experience with parents and with everybody, even dogs and cats. I had experience because I ran from them a lot. So I had experience with. I had all kinds of
Yeah.
experience. I had experience with rabbits and all kind of experiences.
Yeah.
So I have lived long enough to experience a lot of
Oh.
things, and it has caused me to be grow. Just
Oh.
caused me to grow. But one thing, prayer is the key. You
Yeah.
have to read your Bible and
Amen.
pray every day. Pray
Amen.
every day.
Yeah.
Prayer is the key. Don't forget. Don't forget. Put God in things. You might not have to. You might not say it openly,
Hmm.
but have it in mind.
Yeah.
Because in the school you cannot be teaching it, but still have it in mind when you walk on that campus.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
besides your tutoring programs, you keep yourself busy with radio shows and a podcast, right?
Yes, I do. I sure do. And I try to accommodate. Yeah, I stay busy.
Hmm.
I think because stay busy, that keep me out of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I were not busy, I would be fighting with my neighbors and something like
Oh
that.
boy.
Or find somebody to fight with. No, I'm just only saying that I would not.
Yeah.
But I always think of what can I do to make things better for me and the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think that.
Yeah.
And I want to do whatever I can to spread love
Hmm.
and unity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your radio show about?
It's just but I was doing community spotlight.
Mhm.
That way you spotlight different things in the community.
Oh, okay.
And then I had a little youth program on there, which is the Hour of Excellence, where I would feature young people. Then like I featured your son,
Yeah.
and they talk about anything of interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do have a podcast now, and I'm developing that. So you hear a lot of what I will be doing or what I'm doing. You hear that on my podcast.
Hmm.
And it's if you want to go on and open up Hour of Excellence.
Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
Hour of Excellence.
I was able to find it on Apple Podcasts, I think. Hour of Excellence, yes.
See, I feature outstanding dignitaries. I've had programs where I honored citizens 90 and above.
Oh wow.
And the youngest one was 90 and the oldest one was
Oh
103.
my goodness.
That's what I did last year.
Yeah.
Then I did one where I honored superstar superlatives in the community,
Wow.
where I had the tax assessor on, and I had the supervisor of election. I had the sheriff.
Oh
I had
wow.
the chief of police.
Hmm.
I had people from the medical field. I had them on there,
Hmm.
and they would they talk to the community about which resources that they can offer.
Oh. Okay.
And then I had the candidates. We featured the candidates.
Hmm.
All the candidates. We featured them.
For the elections.
I think, yeah, election. Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you for the word. Yeah, we feature them. So we do everything. We feature mothers on there, feature fathers, and
Mhm.
we did something year round.
And you're focused
on the
in
rest.
Lake County, Florida, correct? No, Lake City, sorry.
No, Lake City. No,
Lake
Lake
Ci-
City.
Yeah.
Lake City, Columbia County.
Columbia
Lake City.
County. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hour of Excellence
Yeah.
podcast. Well, thank you so much to an outstanding dignitary for gracing us with her
And
presence today.
Yeah. Well, you have now become an official outstanding dignitary. You are a
Oh.
superstar. You're a superstar. And remember, you are truly someone special.
Oh, I needed to
Yes.
hear that today.
And you'll be the best. And
Oh,
always be you. That's
wow.
capital Y, capital O, capital U. Because no one else qualifies. Just
Yeah.
remember that.
I
Always be you because nobody else qualifies.
Oh, I love it.
Okay?
Thank you
And
so much.
and thank you for choosing me. And I feel so honored and blessed.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you so
Okay,
much,
then.
Mrs. Presley. It was an honor.
And thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Education Today. We'll be back next time with more current topics on all things education. In the meantime, you can email any questions or comments you have about the show to edtodaypodcast@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, please hit the subscribe button on whichever platform you are listening so we can continue to expand our reach. We are listener supported, so if you're able to make a small monthly donation, you can do so by clicking the Support This Podcast link at the bottom of the show notes. Check out my blog for more about my experiences as a classroom teacher at medium.com/@SOCO. That's medium.com/@SOHKOR. You can also find me on Instagram at SOCO_rights. That's SOHKOR_rights. See you next time, and thank you again for listening.